Welcome back to What the Heck is All This Hypnotherapy Stuff podcast. This is where we talk about mindset, energy, healing, and the real reasons people are changing their lives from the inside out. So I'm your host, Tara Woods Wade. I'm an internationally renowned hypnotherapist, Reiki master, teacher, licensed massage therapist, and someone who has watched hundreds, if not thousands of women transform their lives, sometimes at the most unexpected moment. So today we're going to dive into a topic that is exploding right now. It's why so many women are redesigning their lives all at once. And what's the real reason behind this wave of just transformation? Let's talk about what's going on beneath the surface, emotionally, spiritually, culturally. So segment one, we're just going to dive into the trend that's going on that no one can ignore. Maybe you've noticed it, maybe you haven't. But women, they're leaving long-term jobs. They're walking away from relationships that they no longer align in. Seeing more and more people over 50 getting divorced that have been married for a long time. Women are downsizing, they're decluttering, they're moving states, becoming entrepreneurs, starting new businesses, going back to school, choosing themselves for the first time ever. And I call that flying. First, love yourself. But everywhere you look, it seems like women are just redesigning their entire lives lately. But here's the kicker. They're not doing it because they're falling apart or because they're broken. They're doing it because they're waking up. We're watching this collective shift, not just in what women want, but in what they're no longer willing to tolerate. And there's a deeper reason driving all of this. And so we'll go into segment two, talking about the real secret, the emotional breaking point. And again, these women aren't broken. But here's the truth. Most women today are not redesigning their lives because something went wrong. They're redesigning their lives because they finally realized they've been in survival mode for years, just exhausted. You hear me talk about the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system. In layman's term, that's fight or flight or rest and digest. And so for generations, a lot of women were taught to take of everyone else first. Just take care of them, their family, pets, children's friends, school. Silence their intuition. Just stay safe in their careers, carry emotional loads that no one acknowledged or they even share with anybody because they're the peacemakers, fixers, the supporters. And what seems to be happening is in 2024, 2025, there's some sort of a shift, like a breaking point. Maybe it was due to the pandemic. But after the pandemic and after burnout, after identity shifts and watching the world just change, and started asking the forbidden question, like, what do I really want? Do I want to be like this forever? And once that question opens, it really doesn't close. So going into segment three, the rising inner knowing. So more and more women are experiencing something powerful. It's an internal tug, like an internal pull, and they can't ignore it anymore. Some of them, I hear them describe it as something in me has just changed. I just woke up one day and I couldn't go back. I hear some of them say it felt like my soul was just done settling. And I suddenly realized I want a different life. Sounds kind of impulsive, but it's really not. A lot of times it's been thought about for a while. It's not impulsive, it's not dramatic, it's not a crisis. It's a moment of clarity. It's a clarity moment, a soul level awakening. And once a woman reaches that clarity, she begins to redesign everything, put herself first, her boundary, her home, her relationship, her career, her energy, her daily habits, just the people around her. Everything starts shifting, all of it. In segment 4, we're going to talk about the role of burnout, identity shifts, emotional labor. We can't talk about this trend without acknowledging what built up to it. Burnout. Women have been operating at 150% for decades, parenting, working, caregiving, partnering, managing households, emotional supporting roles, managing their own traumas or their own things with helping everyone else manage theirs. And usually there's not a lot of places that these women go to even express themselves or to share what it is that they're feeling or anything because they're the fixers. But then what's happening is there's what I'm going to call this kind of identity crash, not a crisis. But women are hitting a point where they realize they don't even know they are anymore. They don't know who they are outside of their job, their relationship, their role in the family. At your job, you're told to act a certain way, dress a certain way, do this, meet your goals, exceed your goals, be a team player. And in your relationship, oftentimes there's peacemakers just to keep the peace, to not have that other person get angry or sad, or their feelings hurt, or whatever it may be. But women, a lot of times, have lost a little piece of themselves and just trying to keep their relationship and their family and everyone around them happy. Maybe it's a networking group. Maybe it's just the role in the family, keeping the kids all together and everybody just happy and getting along and putting out the fires. And I'm not just talking small children, even when they're big, and just keeping everything together when there's accidents or catastrophes or anything like that. You just jump into fix it mode and survival, and it becomes a way of life to where you're just always like that, and you sometimes forget to have fun or what it even is that what is fun. When was the last time you had fun? When you do things, are you doing them for you? Do you even know what fun is anymore? So this causes just tiredness, like an emotional labor, fatigue. Women are getting tired of being the glue that holds everything together while no one else notices the weight that they carry because they just do it. And this is creating an inner shift. It's just a trend. And it sounds something like this. It sounds like if I don't choose myself right now, I never will. And this is where the redesign begins. We're going to go into segment 5. We're going to talk about the rise of soft life, healing, and self-authority. Women are craving something a lot different now. Peace over productivity, healing over hustle, alignment over obligation, energy over burnout, purpose over pressure, and freedom over perfection. And this is my favorite because I always say that I'm perfectly imperfected. You spell imperfect, I am perfect. And accepting your imperfections because everybody is different because of those imperfections, and not allowing somebody else to criticize you all the time because you're not what they think you need to be. And this is why we're seeing women selling everything and moving places that feel more peaceful. I've seen women that have moved to entire new countries, women starting spiritual practices, wellness centers, women entering hypnotherapy, therapy, energy healing, leaving careers that have drained them, stressed, women just building businesses that have meaning and choosing relationships that are reciprocal. So easy to get caught in a one-sided relationship where you're always giving, 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 and emotionally you get nothing back except for a little bit here and there, but it's not the same as you're giving. And then you find yourself not being you and not being that person, not being that loving person because it just feels unwelcoming. So women are learning boundaries for the first time, and the word boundaries is something that we've heard over the past probably 5 to 10 years, more and more. And it's not a collapse; it's a rebirth. It's just learning boundaries, even if it's family. Somebody is upsetting you, or they're just not good for your personal space. It's always good to try to mend those relationships and work on things. But sometimes it's just a lot. You wake up in the night, you're just sick about it. And sometimes you just really need to create boundaries and distance yourself from the people and create ways to have peace for yourself. As we get older, our looks begin to change, our health is fading a little bit, and people aren't looking at us the same way. It's not the same as going out and being able to have somebody help you load your car with groceries because they wanted to talk to you because you were pretty or whatever. So there's also a change in that, just learning how to navigate life without necessarily being the most beautiful person in the room externally to others. And realizing what other people think and say and think of you and think of what beauty is has no bearing on you. That's their stuff. There's a lot of growth that's going on. So we're going to go into segment 6. And in talking about growth, we talk about hypnotherapy and energy work to reveal that. And I know this podcast is talking about what the heck is all this hypnotherapy stuff. And from time to time, I'll talk about different things. Like today's a little bit different. But in my own practice, I see this same pattern. Not every day, but often. More and more and more, where women come in and they say, I'm overwhelmed. I don't feel like myself. Something's off. I just feel like I'm either on, down, and I've been like this for years. That's just who I am. I'm changing and I don't know why. I just know something is not right. But when we go through and we go deeper down with hypnotherapy and neurolinguistics and energy and really just chunk down and chunk up what it is, we uncover hidden beliefs that they didn't even know that they were running into, that were running their life. There's old emotional patterns that no longer align, patterns that people don't even realize that they're in. And I've been known to say that, what happens in your childhood, and if there was abuse or anything like that, you don't need to carry that on. You can be the change. But there still is inner child wounds driving a lot of people's choices, and it doesn't need to. I uncover a higher self that's ready to lead. A lot of people I see, they have a calling that they've been ignoring. So many people that I see, I see them, they come in, and they're just amazing. And a few times I see people and I just know they are meant for goodness and meant to heal other people through their previous sufferings. They've been ignoring it. I let them know about the strength that they have, the strength that they forgot that they had. And the more we talk about that and the more we go into it, I have clients who have went back to school. I have clients that wanted to do what I do. And I am all about helping people. There's nothing about competition in what we do. The more people that can help people and to help people reconnect with themselves, not just women, men and women. I probably see more men than I do women. But today, just for the sake of this podcast, we're talking about women. And so once a woman reconnects with herself, she redesigns and she starts healing from the inside out. And the normal of having to take care of everything, having to plan dinners and make sure all the kids are good and make sure the husband's happy and make sure that the dogs, do this and make sure that there's gas in the car and make sure that there is the right snacks in the fridge and make sure that all of the bills are paid and then also go to work and then come back. Still need to do those things if you want to. And for the most part, women want to take care of their families and do those things. They need something for them, and that's been the missing link. So not everybody is completely redesigning their life as far as getting up and moving to Asia or divorcing their spouse of 50 years. Not all of that's happening. But redesigning your life can change in so many ways. It can change the way that you think and the way that you react. And for me, when I began to do this in 2017 without even realizing I had been in a really dark place, the first time I've ever really been in that kind of a place. And without going into everything that helped pull me out of that and why I do what I do now, I was redesigning my life without even realizing it. And what I mean by that is I used to count on everybody else. Hang on one second here. I'm getting a battery. It's like I'm low on a battery for my computer here. So let's get that plugged in. There we go. So I used to develop my worth, my self-worth by the way that I looked. From the time I was really little, it was just ingrained. It was taught to me. I wouldn't go outside without having my hair fully done. I'd spend 2 hours a day um, from the time I was like probably 11 or 12, just curling my hair just right, getting the hairspray done. When I was allowed to wear makeup, I would do my makeup perfectly. I didn't really know how to do it, but I would put my mascara on, making sure I got every single blade. I would make sure that I was always the perfect weight in all of this. And I would develop my worth by compliments of other people. And when I began to redesign my life, I really began to know that I just need to take care of myself and everything else follows. And I'm sure that was a little bit of relief on my husband because he used to require a lot when we first got together. I told him, I'm like, you can't handle me. I'm too high maintenance in the attention department. And although I was being authentic and genuine to myself because that's where I was at that time, it's not it's not healthy really. You need to be able to give to yourself and not require other people to do that. So with that being said, we're going to roll into segment 7, and it's a guided self-reflection. Just a self-reflection moment. Let's pause for a moment, just reflect. If you're listening right now, I want you to ask yourself, what part of my life no longer feels like me? Where am I shrinking just to keep the peace? What have I outgrown that I'm pretending to still fit into? What would my life look like if I stopped apologizing for wanting more? Take a breath. And this is where the redesign begins, not with action, but with awareness. And so in segment 8, we're going to talk about what women are choosing instead. And I think this is my 4th episode. So I'm still new to the podcast, and every time it'll get better and better and better. But I'm learning. Got a microphone and a little box here I don't quite know how to use. I learned how to do it, but the microphone sounds a little odd to me. So just know this will get better. My first one was so silly. My second one was a little better. Just like anything in life, the more you do it, the better you get at it. So the shift, the more you decide to choose you, the better you'll get at it. And I hear women say choosing, like choosing you. Women aren't choosing easy, choosing alignment. And the more you do that, the easier it gets. And they're choosing to leave relationships that drain them. And it doesn't always mean leaving the relationship, but it means leaving the old you that was the doormat or the punching bag to whenever your partner would get angry or whenever anything went wrong or whenever there was a problem or just jumping to their every move and knowing that if you were to do the same thing, they wouldn't do that. It's about having those communications. And is your partner willing to even listen to you, or they're just like, and they don't want to change? That's how they are. And but oftentimes people don't even really realize what they're doing. And if you have a conversation with them, and remember, change takes time and get better in time. So this doesn't happen overnight. But we've allowed this sometimes for years and years and years just to make it easy and to keep the peace by jumping to their every whim. And then when we call them, they don't come and they call you. It's just being the person that we thought everybody needed just to keep the peace so they didn't get angry or upset or irritated. All the while you're angry and you're upset and you're irritated that you're not heard and you're doing everything. So it doesn't necessarily mean leaving the relationship, but changing it, changing the way that you react to things. We teach people how to treat us. Women are choosing to build businesses that light them up. But energy hypnotherapy and wellness, I love what I do right here. I did decide a couple of years ago that I wanted to get my real estate license because it's a bucket list thing and I've always wanted to do it. So I did. And I've sold some houses, sold some land, and I enjoy it. But that's not a business that lights me up. That's not a business that I have and I feel like there's a huge amount of joy in that for me. There is. It's always nice to help somebody move and to, help that older lady move in with her daughter across states and stage her house and make sure everything's good while she's gone. Um, there's all sorts. I mean, it is. I love being in real estate and doing that. But when we talk about what lights you up, usually you could see somebody that is working in a store as a cashier or something that doesn't really light them up, or somebody working in a call center doing customer service. That doesn't really light you up. Is it a bad job? No. But it pays the bills and it's stable and it's good. But we're seeing people, specifically women, becoming entrepreneurs and building businesses that really light them up. In one of my networking groups, there's a woman-owned business and she owns a roofing company, for goodness sake, and she's just starting this up. So it's pretty awesome. It's doing things that are unconventional. Women are choosing to heal traumas instead of repeating patterns, live in peace instead of chaos. And peace instead of chaos doesn't mean keeping the peace so that there isn't chaos in the house. This is living in your peace, having boundaries, and stop carrying responsibilities that aren't yours. And the big thing is to trust your intuition. Women, they're not breaking down, they're breaking free. So if you've been feeling this internal shift, which I think all of us do from time to time, men and women, little voice saying it's time to redesign your life, just know you're not alone. Women everywhere are stepping into this new version of themselves. It's like us 2.0, one built on clarity, healing, self authority, one built on not having guilt for the stupid mistakes and things that you did when you were in your early 20s or whatever. And trust me, there was a lot of things that I did that I look back and I wouldn't even like that person now. I would think like, what a dum dum. And that doesn't mean these young kids are dumb. It's just we learn and we grow. And just like this podcast, we get better in time the more we do it. And if you want support on your journey, whether it's through hypnotherapy, neurolinguistics, I call that NLP, energy work, we have retreats that are like field trip retreats with men and women, where we might go up and do some things. Sometimes we have retreats that are multi days in the retreat house, and overnights are only women. Or maybe you just want a personalized transformational session. I'm here. This is the time. This is the awakening. And this is the redesign. So I want to thank you for listening to What the Heck is This Hypnotherapy Stuff? Make sure to subscribe, share, and join me next week for another deep dive into your healing and transformation. Until then, this is T with Energy, and I help you fill you with you. And if you don't know what that is, let's talk. But I'll tell you. It's hypnotherapy and universal energy. Sometimes I say hypnotherapy and understanding energy. But until next week,